Sinister stories.
I am the equivalent of a starving artist. I had invested all my time and energy with nothing to show for it. At this point, if I wanted to continue with my passion, I needed to get a job. I tried a regular 9-to-5, but I swear I died a little inside each passing day. Until one night, I got hungry. Sometimes I swear I would forget to eat. I decided to take a walk looking for a late-night restaurant. It was getting late when I saw a tattoo shop. I stopped and stared in the window. I thought to myself, how hard can this be? So I basically stumbled into the world of tattoos with a lie, my fabricated portfolio clutched in sweaty hands. A job was what I needed, and tattooing seemed like an easy way in, a canvas of skin waiting for my art. How hard could it be, I thought, to plunge into this ink-stained world? The first tattoo, a majestic unicorn, unfolded without a hitch. The ink flowed smoothly, the design emerging as a testament to my deceptive skills. Yet, that night, as I drifted into uneasy slumber, the unicorn from my creation transformed into a sinister creature in my dreams. I found myself standing in an enchanted forest. The air was thick with an otherworldly stillness, and a soft, haunting melody lingered in the breeze. Shadows danced beneath the twisted branches, whispering secrets I couldn't comprehend. Amidst the eerie tranquility, a unicorn emerged from the shadows. Its coat, once shimmering with an ethereal radiance, now bore an unsettling darkness. Its eyes, usually kind and gentle, glowed with an otherworldly malevolence that sent shivers down my spine. I tried to step back, to distance myself from this corrupted creature, but an invisible force held me in place. The unicorn approached with an unsettling grace, its hooves making no sound against the mossy ground. As it drew closer, I could see thorns entwined in its mane, and its once elegant horn now curved into a twisted, jagged point. A dissonant symphony echoed through the forest as the unicorn moved, a nightmarish tune that sent chills through my core. I wanted to wake up, to escape this surreal landscape, but the dreamscape held me captive. With a haunting neigh, the unicorn circled me, its gaze never leaving mine. The air grew heavier, a palpable tension building in the darkness. Suddenly, its eyes erupted in a blinding glow, and the forest around me transformed into a twisted labyrinth of nightmares. The trees contorted into grotesque shapes, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. Whispers surrounded me, unintelligible murmurs that clawed at the edges of my sanity. The unicorn's thorn-laden mane seemed to writhe with a life of its own, a sentient force fueled by the darkness that permeated the dreamscape. As the nightmare unfolded, I felt an overwhelming sense of dread. It was a manifestation of something far more ominous, a symbol twisted by the shadows that lurked within the corners of my subconscious. The unicorn halted, its eyes fixated on me with an intensity that froze my very soul. It lowered its twisted horn, and the thorns in its mane elongated like serpentine tendrils, reaching out with an insidious intent. A guttural growl emanated from the creature, a sound that echoed with the suffering of forgotten realms. In that moment, I knew I had to escape. Panic surged through my veins as I fought against the invisible binds that held me in place. The forest twisted and contorted, a nightmarish carnival of horrors closing in on me. Just as the tendrils of the unicorn's mane brushed against my skin, I jolted awake, gasping for breath. The moonlight bathed my room in a gentle glow, dispelling the remnants of the dreamscape that clung to my consciousness. As I lay in bed, the echoes of the nightmare lingered, haunting my thoughts like a ghostly residue. The twisted unicorn, a perversion of beauty and innocence, had etched its malevolence into the canvas of my dreams. In the stillness of the night, I couldn't shake the feeling that the darkness that lurked within the unicorn's eyes had left an indelible mark on the recesses of my soul. Undeterred, I approached the next day with newfound confidence. 2 tattoos on the agenda, a dragon and a barbed wire armband. The needle danced on the skin, weaving intricate patterns. Once again, the tattoos went off without a hitch. It was like I've been doing this for years. I left work that evening with a tremendous amount of confidence. But as the sun dipped below the horizon, the thought of dragons and barbed wires crawled into my dreams, entwining my sleep in a nightmarish tapestry. Once again, I found myself in dreamland. There I stood alone in a desolate wasteland, where dragons with wings of obsidian black soared overhead. Their eyes glowed with an infernal hunger, casting an ominous crimson hue upon the once serene sky. Beneath my feet, the ground morphed into a maze of coiling barbed wires, each tendril pulsating with a malevolent energy. The wires moved with an unsettling rhythm, like serpents poised to strike. Their metallic barbs glinted ominously, warning of impending torment. Above, the dragons roared with monstrous intensity, their fiery breath casting the landscape into an apocalyptic blaze. As the dragons descended, the animated barbed wires slithered around my limbs, constricting with a merciless grip. The tendrils pierced my flesh, weaving a tapestry of suffering through my nightmares. The dragon's roars reverberated, and the wires tightened, leaving no room for escape. In the distorted dreamscape, the once majestic dragons transformed into twisted skeletal forms, scales replaced by rusted chains and thorns exuding palpable malice. I stumbled through the nightmarish landscape, the dragon's eyes fixated on me, and the barbed wires tightening their grip, creating an inescapable labyrinth of torment. As I struggled, the dragons unleashed guttural screams, a harrowing lament that echoed through the twisted nightmare. The barbed wires coiled around me, embedding into my flesh with a perverse determination. The pain was visceral, transcending the boundaries of the dream world. In the heart of the nightmare, I felt the suffocating embrace of despair, a surreal concoction of dragons and barbed wires ensnaring my very soul. The dreamscape pulsated with malevolent energy, as if the nightmares reveled in my torment. And then, with a jarring jolt, I awoke, gasping for breath. The room was shrouded in darkness, the echoes of the nightmarish symphony lingering in my ears. The dragons and barbed wires retreated to the recesses of my subconscious, leaving behind a lingering unease that clung to me like a haunting specter. Brushing it off as mere new job jitters, I continued down this twisted path. Every tattoo brought a wave of anxiety, a premonition of the nightmarish visions awaiting me. I questioned whether it was guilt gnawing at my conscience or my mind playing malevolent tricks. I lied to get this job, and it felt like I was being reminded of that every day. Days blurred into nights, each session leaving me more unsettled than the last. I hesitated before every tattoo, the weight of impending nightmares pressing on my shoulders. The designs I etched on others seemed to bleed into my own psyche, manifesting as vivid, horrifying dreams. But the money was good. I made 1% for every tattoo. As my 2-week probation loomed, a large man walked into the shop, a peculiar glint in his eyes. He wanted a sprawling masterpiece dedicated to his favorite horror icons. My stomach churned with nerves, but I couldn't refuse. This was my test, a colossal tattoo that would either solidify my place or shatter the illusion I had crafted. Honestly, all I could see was the potential to make a bit of money. The needle buzzed, tracing the lines. Each stroke felt like a descent into an abyss of terror. The client's excitement was palpable, but as he left the shop with his freshly inked horror tribute, a foreboding silence settled over the room. That night was different. The nightmares were going to be relentless, a kaleidoscope of horror icons merging and morphing into grotesque amalgamations. I had no idea how my nightmares would play out. I tried so hard not to fall asleep. I drank coffee, kept all the lights on, and kept happy movies playing on the TV. I slowly felt my eyes getting heavier and heavier. I could no longer stand it. That illustrious sleep beckoned me. The dream unfolded like a sinister play, where an axe-wielding maniac, an evil doll, and a killer clown danced together in a macabre symphony. The air grew heavy with an oppressive dread as the maniac, brandishing a gleaming axe, lumbered towards me with unhinged determination. His eyes, devoid of humanity, glowed with a bloodlust that sent shivers down my spine. The metallic tang of the weapon lingered in the air, a foreboding omen of impending doom. Beside him, an evil doll with lifeless eyes and porcelain skin emerged from the shadows. Its eerie gaze locked onto mine, and a wicked grin twisted its painted lips. The doll moved with an unnatural grace, its porcelain limbs contorting into unsettling poses as it inched closer, a harbinger of childhood nightmares turned malevolent. A haunting laughter echoed through the nightmare, and a killer clown materialized with a maniacal grin plastered across its painted face. The clown's eyes gleamed with a sadistic glee, and its garish attire hid a darkness that transcended mere amusement. It wielded an array of twisted balloons, each one a grotesque parody of innocence. As I stumbled through the dreamscape, the unholy trio closed in, their menacing presence intensifying with every step. The maniac's axe gleamed ominously, the evil doll's porcelain limbs creaked in eerie synchrony, and the clown's laughter echoed with a chilling melody that reverberated through the nightmare. I felt the cold breath of the axe-wielding maniac on my neck, the malevolent gaze of the evil doll piercing my soul, and the unsettling laughter of the killer clown echoing in the recesses of my mind. The nightmare became a relentless pursuit, a twisted dance where the three horrors reveled in my vulnerability. The more I ran, the further away I felt my safe haven to be. Every turn led to one of the nightmarish trio just waiting for me. I couldn't stop running, or whatever shadowy figure chasing me would get me. The dream world twisted into a nightmarish carnival, its atmosphere saturated with an unsettling amalgamation of terror. Shadows morphed into contorted shapes, and the nightmarescape echoed with the disconcerting laughter of the unholy trio. And then, with a jarring awakening, I found myself gasping for breath in the darkness of my room. The moonlight filtered through the curtains, dispelling the remnants of the nightmare. Yet the lingering echoes of the axe-wielding maniac, the evil doll, and the killer clown haunted the edges of my consciousness, a chilling reminder of the nightmares that danced within the shadows of my mind. I had essentially woke up in a cold sweat, my heart pounding, and the chilling realization that I couldn't escape this cycle. These tattoos weren't just art. They were conduits to realms beyond our understanding. My nightmares weren't mere figments of my imagination. They were echoes of the symbols I carved into others. The nightmares had seeped into my subconscious, and there was no escaping their grasp. The next day, haunted by the shadows of the night before, on the day before my probation would end, I resigned. The tattoo shop's door closed behind me, leaving the ink-stained nightmares to the shadows. The world of tattooing, once a tempting canvas of possibilities, now haunted the periphery of my memories, a cautionary tale of art with consequences too profound to bear. No amount of money is the worth constant nightmarish torture. Now with a new understanding that if I want to keep up my artistic passion, a 9 to 5 wouldn't be the worst idea.